Alright, I'm back. And I picked up a Dave.
Hi!
I did a vlog earlier with the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake. And,
Oh, you were talking about Roots?
No, I have been watching Roots, too. No, I have! Like, they've been showing, all week long on TV, they've been showing all of Roots. So I'm flipping channels the other day, and I'm like, alright, Christmas movie, Roots? Fuck it! I ain't seen Roots in several years, I'm gonna watch Roots. I've been watching Roots all week. So when you look in my DVR, just in case I was gone, it goes, Daily Show, Colbert.
Roots?
I did, because I was gone, yes, I was gone last night, and last night was the conclusion. So so if you look at my DVR, it goes like, yeah, Daily Show, Colbert, Craig Ferguson, Roots. So at the end of my Silent Night thing, I was like, I'm done talking about this. I'm gonna go see Django Unchained. I text Dave. I'm like, Dave, I know it's Christmas. You want to see Django? He writes back to me. He's like, dude, I'm already gonna be there. He's like, I'm gonna be there with my family, so yeah, whether you're there or not, I'm still gonna be there. So we could do a video on it afterwards. So
you also picked the exact screening we were going to.
850, yeah. Yeah, the 850, it was the most convenient screening in town. I get there, and theater's fucking packed. Because I got there earlier than Dave. Like, I'm sitting around the house bored. I'm like, alright, I'm just gonna go to the theater a little bit earlier. Not like over an hour early or anything, but a little earlier, just so I can fart around in the arcade for a little bit. I get there, it's fucking packed. There's like a line going out for Django Unchained. It wasn't like 3 people are there to see Django, but everyone else is there for Les Miserables. So I'm texting Dave, I'm like, you should probably get here.
I was arguing with my father, like, we need to go now.
Yeah.
And my dad's 70 years old. He's like, I don't want to go there and fucking sit there for half an hour. Mm-hmm. I'm like, we need to go now, Dad.
We got to. Yeah, and they didn't let us into the room until, like, they were slow at, like, cleaning the theater, so they didn't let us in until about 10 till showtime. I go in there, just toss my big-ass overcoat on 4 seats. Sorry.
Yeah, we walked in the theater, we got there way after, like, look around the theater, and there's just this giant mass of people, and then there's Brad waving with, like, this strip of seats, and people just looking annoyed.
Yeah. One guy came and sat next to me, so I scoot over another seat, so I could save that one, and then the other one's beside me. Well, so is this a good Christmas present? Django Unchained. Yeah, no, me saving seats for you. Yeah, yes, Django.
Christmas like present like Tarantino made it specifically for
Exactly, made it for us.
Oh, well then yes, it's fantastic.
This is a great fucking movie.
It's just what I wanted for Christmas.
It is! It's the best Christmas gift since Jackie Brown opened on Christmas.
I know.
15 years ago. I love this movie. This movie was fan-fucking-tastic.
It was, yeah, no, I was enjoying the hell out of it the entire time.
Me too. And it was a fairly quick sit.
For a 3-hour movie?
Yeah.
I've read a couple reviews about it in advance, just...
I haven't. I mean,
I scanned reviews and...
I know the consensus is really fucking good.
Yeah, there was a few complaints that I read, and some people were bitching about the running time. I'm like, I didn't notice at all.
Neither did I. Maybe it was because the last movie I saw in the theater was The Hobbit, but no, I mean it wasn't. This movie would have felt quick to me regardless of that. But like
overall, I didn't think The Hobbit was bad, but this did not seem nearly as long, and it was just as long as The Hobbit.
It was, yeah, because we looked at the clock afterwards, and I looked at you and said, "How long was this movie?" And you went 2 hours, and I go. The movie started at 8:50 when we had trailers, and I was like, it's 5 after midnight right now. Yeah. It's between 2.5 and 3 hours. It didn't fucking feel like it. That went by fucking quick.
It went by real quick.
Really fucking quick. It's, if you've seen any of the trailers, if you've seen the title of the movie, you know that it is Tarantino's love letter to spaghetti westerns. You like spaghetti westerns a lot, like I do. I love spaghetti westerns.
Same here.
This is you are going to love this movie. It's probably the bloodiest fucking Western I've ever seen in my life. This movie's gruesome as shit.
Yeah, it's the bloodiest. It really was. Like, the first gunshot in the movie, and I went, oh, fuck.
Yeah, when a horse gets shot in the fucking head. Jesus Christ. It's a little more brutal than when Mongo punched a horse in Blazing Saddles.
Much more brutal.
But yeah, it's the bloodiest fucking Western I've seen since, Jesus Christ, probably Cutthroat's 9. It's good. It's really fucking good. And like Tarantino movies, it's also extremely funny.
The whole, it's like, there is a serious story going, but
yeah,
every 30 seconds there's a fucking laugh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know that all of them were intentional, but there's a fucking laugh.
I would say 99.9% of them are intentional.
Oh, yeah.
And Tarantino does that so well because it's not out of place.
It's whenever 10 years from now, a year from now, nobody's gonna think of this movie and go, that was really funny. Everybody's going, that was a great movie.
Yeah, yeah. And that you can say that about all of Tarantino movies, really. They're genuinely funny. But just serious shit goes down in them.
Yeah.
You can laugh at something at 1 minute, and then the next it'll get fucking disturbing. And it doesn't, and it's not, you don't get whiplash from it. It's not like, Jesus Christ, well this seems like two completely different fucking movies. You never...
No, it all fits in.
It all fits in. And Tarantino has always been brilliant at doing that. We were talking about that when we did the video on Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
Where, we go in and... Shit, how many times have we seen Reservoir Dogs?
I can't
count. A lot. And then watching, that movie again, we talked about it in that video, we're like, damn, I always forget how funny this movie is. Consistently. And it's the same thing here. I'll bet you, I could go back and watch this movie again years later. I'm sure I'll see it again sooner than that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I'll still laugh at all that stuff as if it's my first time hearing them. And Tarantino does that spectacularly well. Because one, the dialogue is great. The humor is very, very funny. It's genuine. It never seems
comes by naturally.
It's natural. Yeah, exactly. It comes by naturally. It's not out of place. And the characters are just that fucking good. Christoph Waltz most likely going to get an Oscar nomination.
I hope he does.
And DiCaprio.
DiCaprio killed in this movie.
DiCaprio, this is my favorite, and I like Leonardo DiCaprio. This is my favorite role he's ever had. I think this is probably his best role of all time. It's certainly my favorite performance.
He's chewing on scenery.
Exactly. And I love that kind of scenery chewing. The southern, I got me a touch of the vapors.
Yeah, no.
Southern gentleman. I love that stereotype to death.
And
I love that. And he kills
goes
at
for it. Yeah.
He fucking goes for it. It's great. Holy crap. The whole speech that he has about the dimples in the back of the fuck,
he starts talking about phrenology.
Yeah.
He starts talking about phrenology to prove a point and pulls out a skull and starts fucking hacking at it.
And he cuts his hand, too, at one point doing it. You're watching him give this monologue, and he goes from being a kind of a quirky, sort of humorous character a little bit, but you know that there's some darkness in there. You know that this guy's a fucking sadist. And he goes from being pretty funny in the uncomfortable kind of way, like
even still.
And I mean that in a good way.
Even still somewhat likable. You're like, oh, the dude's kind of fucking charming.
Exactly.
And then he just takes that turn. You're like, oh fuck.
He takes that turn where he's scary as shit. And again, that's not out of place. It is consistent with his character, but the writing is just that good that he goes from charming, charismatic, dark, sadistic, to just scary as shit. And he's given that speech, and at some point when he's cutting that skull, he injures his hand, and I'm watching him giving this monologue, and he doesn't really address it. He's just talking, and you see his hand is bleeding, and it's really subtle how it's done and impressive. I'm like, holy fuck, he sliced his hand open. And then he works that in when he's giving that speech. He smears it over Jamie Foxx's wife's face.
Yeah.
And it's intense. The movie's got really three three incredibly solid acts to it. You have Django getting freed by Christoph Waltz, so the two of them can become bounty hunters. You see this relationship they're having together, and the chemistry between the two of them is fucking phenomenal. And then you have the second act, which would be them going on the mission to this plantation called Candyland to rescue Django's wife, and this whole kind of ruse con that they have to do in order to do that. And then you have the third act, which is straight out revenge. It's a solid, spectacular fucking spaghetti western. And yes, it plays the Django theme.
It does.
Django.
It just blares it right out in the opening and beginning. It's just like, yes.
Opening credit sequence. Fuck yeah.
That's a great opening credit sequence too.
Yeah, because it looked like a spaghetti western opening.
Yes.
It was really well done. And everyone in this movie is fantastic. Christoph Waltz is hilarious.
You know, he's one. I have not seen a movie with him in it yet that I didn't kind of like the movie, but thought he was just fucking fantastic.
I didn't like the Green Hornet, but I thought he was great in it.
I don't mind the Green Hornet.
Yeah.
I don't think it was great, but I sat it and went, okay, I sat through it and went, that was kind of fun. I'm done with it now. But he was fantastic.
Yeah, he was great in it. He was great. I didn't like the movie, but he was fantastic in the movie. Yeah, and we were talking about this in the car, where it was like, you got three people who were easily vying for like fucking best supporting actor nods here. You got, of course, Leonardo DiCaprio, Christoph Waltz, of course, and Samuel L. Jackson, who is more so of a lead villain in this than the trailers for the movie let on.
Yeah, the trailers for the movie, like, you really don't get the impression they're going to do that whole third act at all, actually.
Yeah.
The whole third act, I was like, oh, this movie's about to be over, and then I was like, oh, no, it's not.
Yeah, Yeah. And in Samuel L. Jackson's character, you see him a lot in the trailer, and he just looks like a house slave.
He's basically playing the Uncle Tom archetype.
Yes,
you know?
he very much. But he
gets vicious.
He competes with like DiCaprio in terms of lead villain in this movie. He's pretty evil in this.
He's much more unlikable than DiCaprio,
and he's much more manipulative.
Yes,
in this movie, and because DiCaprio is very much playing the sadistic play.
Well, but there's something going on with the whole Samuel L. Jackson character where you're like, that you can't quite figure out really, because he's a better manipulator than DiCaprio's character is. He's playing this older guy, and when he first comes on screen, he's on a cane. He seems kind of handicapped and a little slow, and and then then suddenly there's just this scene where he's sitting there with a brandy, cross-legged, and the tone of speech completely changes and everything, and then he just goes back into it.
And he drops the cane too at one point. Yeah, he's really fucking good. He's really fucking good. This is a lot more than just Samuel Jackson being Samuel Jackson, which is always great. Don't get me wrong.
And there's a little bit of that.
There is. Don't get me wrong. But this is a very, very evil character that he's playing in this movie, and he's really fucking good at it. And you even have there's a lot of people in this.
There's a ton of great little cameos.
James Remar, Tom Savini, John Jarrett pops up.
Don Johnson.
Don Johnson is Big Daddy. Jonah Hill Jonah Hill.
Bagman 2.
Baghead number 2. That was great. That whole speech was when they're talking about the eye holes in their pillowcases on their heads. Like, that was very
It goes
funny.
on for like 10 minutes, and in the whole time
it's hilarious.
You could barely hear the screen over everyone laughing at every line.
Because it shows these prototypical Klansmen charging to surround the little wagon that Christoph Waltz and Jamie Foxx have, and then in the middle of them charging, it cuts to show what happened sort of before then, which is all of these redneck fucking racists sitting around complaining that they can't see out of their eye holes. Fuck you guys, I'm going home. My wife made these pillowcases for you, and you ain't showing her any gratitude. It's like, this is a very, very funny scene involving a bunch of fucking Klansmen.
Oh, then Michael Parks shows up.
Michael Parks shows up as
Michael Parks,
who is obviously playing a descendant of Sheriff McGraw.
Did you catch the Zoe Bell cameo?
I did, yeah. Zoe Bell pops up in there. Tarantino.
Yes.
As I'm sorry.
I couldn't tell if he was Southern or Australian or what was going on.
Since he had John Jarrett with him, I think he was supposed to be Australian. I was sitting the first couple of lines he said, I'm like, what is this accent he's using?
What is he doing? I was wondering that. I was like, I love it when Tarantino pops up in movies, but it was just kind of because I don't think he's a bad actor.
No,
I was just kind of like,
don't.
what accent is he doing?
What is that's not really Southern? I'm like,
I like the fact that he didn't write himself a fucking speech this time.
Oh yeah. He's just kind of he's just one of the guys who it's captured Django at one point. It's him and Michael Parks and John Jarrett. I'm pretty sure he was supposed to be Australian. It took me a minute or two.
Yeah. That's the only thing that took me out of the movie. It was just like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
And I think the only reason I even thought of that was it was Tarantino.
Because it was Tarantino. Yeah. That was fun. But so I highly recommend the movie a lot. If you like Tarantino, you're gonna like it. If you like spaghetti westerns, you're gonna like it. You like a gruesome ass revenge movie, you're gonna like it. You want to laugh, you're really gonna like it. There's a lot to fucking love about this movie.
One of the best gunfights I've ever seen.
Good lord, in the plantation at the end.
Oh my god, man!
It turned into like Assault on Plantation 13.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it turned into. You got like I'm not gonna spoil anything because I really want you to see the movie.
No spoilers this time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil anything.
Normally I don't care, but this time, no. Everyone needs to go see this movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of lay off spoilers this time, but there is a gunfight in the plantation, and it's not like it's like really long, but it's like a mini little Precinct 13 nod almost, because you've got all these gunfighters surrounding the plantation, and the ladders trying to get in the window. You got Django shooting at the windows and all that, and it's gruesome. It's bloody as shit. People fucking die.
But at the same time, there's enough. Like, it's still funny as hell too. The violence very much has a sense of humor in this. It's gruesome. It is. But that's great. Lot of blood.
That's great. There's buckets of fucking blood in this movie.
And I don't know about you, but that all looked practical to me.
It looked practical to me.
If it wasn't, it looked really good.
If I wasn't, if that wasn't, it did look really good. And if it also wasn't, I'd be very surprised, given that this is a Tarantino, because this movie's shot on film. Tarantino's a film guy. He shoots on film, and this movie looks gorgeous. This is a film shot movie, and film is just always going to look better to me. It is.
It's got a little more warmth to it.
It's just always going to look better to me. And this movie looks like a western. It looks like a classic spaghetti western. And it's the scenery is spectacular. It's beautiful. The mountains, the snow, the blood just spraying all over the cotton field. Oh,
that was a gorgeous, weird little shot.
Yeah, and it
didn't need to be in there, but that just like spoke volumes. You know? That was a great little shot.
And there was that other great shot too, where there's a character who gets shot when he's riding on a horse, and you don't see
him get shot. You just see the horse and the blood.
It's
beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Dark, but fucking beautiful.
Dark and fucking beautiful. Yeah. And there is some real brutality in this movie. I mean, a lot of the violence does have a sense of humor to it, but some of it is very, very dark. Like that was pretty fucking good when Jamie Foxx got that whip and just went to town on.
You could see some rage in him.
Oh yeah, that was really fucking well done.
We talked about the sporting act. Jamie Foxx fucking killed.
Jamie Foxx is great. He's very much he's a very silent character in the movie. He's very soft spoken. very, you know.
But when
he's
he
a
does
very
say something, it's big.
Exactly. He's a spaghetti western character. He's very much a spaghetti western lead in this movie.
He's kind of the man with no name, kind of going on to a certain degree.
To a certain degree, yeah, he does. Oh, Franco Nero popping up too.
That was great.
That was.
It's what's in the trailer, but it's a little extended.
Yeah. It's a little extended, but it is just a cameo. And that was really cool. That was really cool to see. You got anything else about it?
I don't want to give anything away.
Honestly,
don't want to give anything away on this.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the hell out of the movie. It actually held surprises for me. Which I didn't really expect, because most of the time, even with, Inglourious Bastards, when I wasn't really surprised by anything in the movie. I loved it, but I wasn't. This movie surprised the fuck out of me at some point.
This movie does have surprises. You never really know where it's going. Like, you're thinking, you begin to think like, okay, this might work out pretty well, and then, well, maybe not. Maybe this won't work out very well, and then, oh, hey, maybe it will. You go back and forth like that a lot. It's unpredictable. It's unpredictable about where this whole thing is going to lead. Not that there's any huge twists. It's just unpredictable. You don't really know where it's going. Like, this could end really happily, or it very fucking easily couldn't.
I thought, yeah, it would. See, I don't want to give it away. I don't even know what to talk about without giving it away. Other than just how incredibly good it was. I was really impressed with Tarantino's new editor.
Yeah.
It was
Fred
Rifkin?
Yeah, something like that.
It's Sally Menke, the editor he worked with constantly, died in 2010, so he had to get a new one. This guy did a great job.
He did a great job.
It
looked and felt like a Tarantino film. So yeah, it didn't look different. It didn't. I mean, well, it didn't look.
It looked a little different, but it looked different in the way. The way that suited the kind of movie they were making.
Exactly.
He wasn't making a gangster movie this time. He wasn't making a World War II movie. He was making a western, and it looked like a western. It felt like a western. The entire time. And even with Tarantino, like using there's rap music and stuff in there, but it never felt really out of place for me.
No, it did for me in Man with the Iron Fist. That felt really out of place. Here, not he does it better. But Tarantino's a better director than the RZA is.
Yeah.
But so yeah,
it's used a great effect too.
The effect is a lot better. It doesn't really feel that much. It doesn't really feel that much out of place. It's done a lot better here than it was in that other movie. But here you have a lot of different stuff occupying the soundtrack. It isn't just something like that.
No, there's some soul going on in there.
Yeah. There is. There's a little Harry Nilsson popping up in there too.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was great.
I love anything with Harry Nilsson.
So do I. That was awesome. That was one of my favorite parts of the fucking movie.
Yeah, you throw up Harry Nilsson, and I'm just like, really? Nilsson?
You throw some Nilsson in there, it's going to be great. Of course, the Django theme, and you also got some Ennio Morricone in there. You got, the kind of whistling spaghetti western music. It's a mixture of a lot of different stuff, and it worked, and it worked really well. So I highly recommend you go see the movie. And like I said, I don't want to spoil a lot about this one because I want you to see it.
It's definitely worth the time. This is one of those movies that I'm gonna really check the boards on for this review because I want to see what other people think of it. Like I want to have conversations with people about this movie that have seen it without giving everything away in it because you can't talk too much about this movie without giving things away. Like that's.
Yeah, and this one is special. I mean, usually I have no problem really running down, key points of the whole thing. But this one, I'd rather just.
It's not that anything's even overly terribly surprising. Like, there's nothing that happens in the movie that you can't kind of see coming. But at the same time, it was great going into this kind of blind. It was really enjoyable going into this really blind.
Yeah, it is.
And it wasn't. There was no letdown at all with it for me. So
No, not at all. Not at all. This is definitely going to be on my best movies of the year list.
Oh,
pretty fucking high up there.
Yeah. Well, there's only 4 days left, so it's.
Well, I still got.
Yeah.
I am gonna have a best and worst of list, but it probably won't be until after January because there's still a lot of stuff I need to see. Actually, the worst one I could probably do, but the best one, there is some stuff that I do need to see. But anyway, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back and talk about the trailers. Okay, and we're back. Let's see. What do we get in front of this?
We got Oblivion again, which we've talked about before.
Yeah, we talked about Oblivion.
Tom Cruise's Wall-E.
Yeah, Tom
Cruise's Wall-E with like a little bit. It looks like a little bit of the Time Machine with like the Morlocks and shit thrown in. Like, I'm not sure what's going on.
Get Jeremy Irons back for this.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there, but it looks fun.
Yeah, I'll see it.
Not great, but it looks fun.
Yeah, it doesn't look great, but Tom Cruise, I'll go see it.
Morgan Freeman.
Tom Cruise, Morgan Freeman, I'll check it out. It might be alright. Pain and Gain. Come on, bro. Get my pump on, bro.
That hurts, don't it? Yeah, I know. It hurts. Fucking Michael Bay.
You know what?
It's not a bad-looking trailer, but it's nothing I have interest in it.
I kind of... Here's why, because it looks like Michael Bay doing the kind of movie he would do back in the 90s, and I like The Rock, and I...
But even then, like, I like parts of The Rock.
I like The Rock
I don't think it's a great movie. I don't... It's not something I ever go, oh, The Rock's on, I'm gonna fucking watch that.
I could picture myself being in a mood and be like, oh, hey, The Rock's on. Alright. I like The Rock. I like The Rock a lot. And I like, too, the fact it takes place in the 90s, this movie does. And I like that I do like how Michael Bay was, and I'm not a Michael Bay fan. I'm not.
Fucking hate
I'm not a Michael Bay fan, but I do. I'm giving some respect here in the sense that he was like, all right, I'm gonna do a hard R movie like I used to do, and I'm only gonna make this movie for $10 million.
Now, there's parts
and that's what he did. And I respect that.
There's parts of it that seem funny.
Tony Shalhoub stuff, like
The Rock looks fucking hilarious.
Tony Shalhoub say like salad. It's an invention made by poor people, or something like that. Like
you can never really go terribly wrong with Tony Shalhoub, even in bad shit. It's like Tony
13
Shalhoub.
Ghosts. Yeah,
but Tony Shalhoub's fucking great in 13 Ghosts. It's a terrible movie.
Yeah, he's a great actor. Here's what this is one of my new favorite ways to describe a movie. I saw the Pain and Gain trailer online last week. I saw it on Ain't It Cool, and there was a guy in the comments.
I love the Ain't It Cool comments. They're so
This is good. This is one of my new favorite things to say about something. The guy goes, oh, well, that looks sit-throughable.
Okay, I can kind of see that.
Sit-throughable. That looks sit-throughable.
Pain and Gain is going to be one of those movies that I'm not looking forward to. I'm not going to think about again unless I start seeing the trailer. But the night you go, hey, you want to go see Pain and Gain? I'll probably go, alright.
Does it look sit-throughable?
Yeah.
I'm in that, my curiosity's peaked about that one. And I'm not a Michael Bay guy. That one looks better.
Yeah, looks a little better. We got the This Is the End trailer.
That looks funny.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are probably getting sick of like that group of guys and their comedy style.
Yeah.
But that movie looks fucking hilarious.
That does look funny.
And it looks like they're going to be making fun of themselves so much.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the trailer for this, it's
just a scene from the movie.
Really? Yeah, it is. It's Seth Rogen, it's Jonah Hill,
James Franco,
Craig Robinson,
Jay Baruchel. I know Jason Segel, Danny McBride, Paul Rudd. I mean, that whole group of people is in this movie,
and they all play themselves. Literally, they're literally playing themselves. Yeah. They're having a party at James Franco's house, and then the world ends, or something like that. There's a line where they talk about how Michael Cera's been killed, and Danny McBride says, oh, well, I guess one good thing has happened, or something like that.
They're all saying, not cool, dude. Franco's got a gun.
Yeah, that looks genuinely funny. That looks really funny.
It's it's the guys who wrote, it's Rogen and his writing partner from Superbad, and they're directing this one.
And I like Superbad a lot.
I enjoy the hell out of Superbad.
I like Superbad a lot. I
like that whole Apatow group of guys.
I honestly do too. I mean, anymore it can be kind of hit and miss.
Well, it depends on what they're doing. You know, I think like
they've made a lot of movies I like.
Yeah, like we talked about Greenheart a little while ago. I don't think that humor worked well for that movie.
No, I didn't either.
But you know, Funny People I thought was
Funny People I thought was great. I thought that was a great movie.
I'm looking forward to This Is 40.
Yeah, This Is 40. I really want to see. I'm not. I am most likely not going to be going to see The Guilt Trip.
No, no. There's some shit I don't need to see, but
yeah, I don't need to see The Guilt Trip.
I like those guys when they do certain stuff. Pineapple Express was
Pineapple
great.
Express was funny. Yeah.
Observe and Report was fucking fantastic.
Observe and Report was very underrated. So I do like a lot of those guys' movies. I know a lot of people now don't really, but I still do.
Well,
I think anymore they're kind of hit or miss, but I
well,
still.
And there's been so much of it in the past couple of years, but
It's been a lot.
Every once in a while there's gems. I liked Your Highness a lot.
I did too. That movie got shit on like nothing.
I laughed my ass off.
I thought that movie was funny.
All I wanted to do with that movie was laugh. It made me laugh.
It made me fucking laugh. It was dumb as shit. Yeah, it was fucking supposed to be dumb as shit. And to me, it was good dumb. I laughed. Well, speaking of dumb, we got Scary Movie 5, that spoofs those classic horror movies, Inception and Black Swan. Those classic horror movies of our time.
Yeah. You know what? I hated every single one of those movies, and this one looks like the worst.
It does look like the worst, because say what you will about, like, the first one, it did spoof horror movies.
Yeah, it was a Scream spoof. It really was.
Yeah, it was a Scream spoof. I Know What You Did Last Summer, a spoof of really all those 90s slasher movies.
And it worked. I didn't enjoy it, but it worked. I understood why people liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it was...
But this looks fucking terrible.
Yeah, it does. You might as well have the fucking Friedberg and Seltzer duo doing this fucking movie.
No one in the theater even laughed during the trailer.
No, but they
fucking
did.
Crickets.
But they didn't laugh at that. Which, God, that trailer is so bad it actually makes the Marlon Wayans one look better by comparison, and that one looks like shit too. But no, they did laugh at the one that was supposed to be serious, because we were laughing too.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that called? Dark Skies?
Yes!
I know it had some title that had like nothing to do with
it. Fucking hilarious.
That looked funny.
It's like a family. It looks like Amityville Horror, but they get the entire family, not just the dad.
You cannot take that trailer seriously. Holy crap! That is one of the most unintentionally hilarious
Carrie Russell
trailers.
Just banging a
bang your head. It looks like a comedy, but it's not.
It was very obviously a fake head.
Yes!
It was just like a fake head of her because she wouldn't hit her head against a window.
And the dude, like, he's standing out in the front lawn and she looks at his face, he's... like, what the fuck was that?
And no, the best part was he wasn't just making that face, he turned his head to look at her making the...
Yeah! We looked at each other, I was thinking, like, this looks more hilarious than The Apparition. What the fuck? I looked over to Dave, I'm like... It's like, you realize this looks way funnier than Scary Movie 5?
Did you hear my dad, 4 seats down, go, what the fuck was that?
Dark Skies.
Oh, that's gonna
Talk about a title that's out of left fucking field. What the shit does that have to do with anything?
and then out of nowhere, fucking Simmons is in the... It's just like... Oh, a good actor's in this. Fuck.
Who? Oh yeah, J.K. Simmons pops up in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
It's like, damn it, I like J.K. Simmons. Don't do this, J.K. Simmons. Please don't do this.
And even he looks funnier than the equivalent in Scary Movie 5, which I guess is Cat Williams. Has some ghosts in here. What else? Oh, Lone Ranger.
Alright. You know what? It looks like it might be sit-throughable.
I think Pain and Gain looks way more sit-throughable.
Honestly, it does. Like, I really, the only reason I think it looks sit-throughable is I think Armie Hammer looks great as the Lone Ranger.
Hammer, yeah. Yeah, he looks good. Too bad it's a Lone Ranger movie starring Tonto.
Exactly, that's my problem with that trailer is not only is the secondary character getting first billing, okay, it's Johnny Depp.
And that happens sometimes.
You know, but poor Armie Hammer. It's like it's his first like super big lead role in his second billing, and then it shows like the logo and it's the mask, but it's got like the fucking hawk crow head. And then it's obviously Johnny Depp's eyes.
Yeah, they want to do it cute. Like they're being cute. They're like okay, so let's make our logo look like not a Tonto movie, but it's a Tonto movie.
Really, what it is, it's the same thing as the Batman and Robin logo, where they're combining the two.
That's what it was. They combined the two, but it's just they're blatantly
in the front.
Yeah,
know?
They're blatantly selling it as it's a Tonto movie.
It's Johnny. Oh, and it's from the makers of. And then instead of just saying Pirates of the Caribbean, they just throw up the skull and crossbones.
Yeah,
and it's just like.
So it's from the creators of Jackass?
Yeah. No, and it's just okay. Listen, we all know where it's coming from because those movies made so much money, and I don't know fucking why because they sucked. But really, just put the title of the movie up there. Like, it wasn't that fucking ubiquitous. 30 years from now, nobody's gonna fucking remember Pirates of the Caribbean. No one fucking remembers it now.
What do you mean? Part 4 was really good. That brought that back like a vengeance.
Yeah, they made 4 of them, but it's not like there's a stack of them at the store anymore or anything. Like, it's not that big of a fucking deal anymore.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the forgotten movie series. It really is.
People are pirates out, I think.
Yeah,
I think, especially after how the 4th one went over.
You know what? And if they had just made, like, you know, there were some cool effects and shit, and, like, Johnny Depp was funny, but not every pirate in that fucking movie had to be like Johnny Depp. It was way too fucking twee. It was twee. It was fucking... It was... Oh... Fucking hell, man.
I just mainly couldn't stand Orlando Bloom in those movies, and those movies were too fucking long. The first couple I didn't think were that bad. Third one...
Yeah, what is with Orlando Bloom? It's like every other movie... You know, there have been some movies where, like, I fucking love him. Like Elizabethtown, not Cameron Crowe's best fucking movie, but Orlando Bloom's fucking great in it.
Not if Orlando. That guy doesn't do it for me. I'm not an Orlando Bloom fan. It's honestly, it's not that I think he's like a bad actor. I just find his whole. I find his him. Yeah, I find his presence really annoying. And I don't think he's a bad actor necessarily. I just don't think he has any screen presence. I think he's a dead weight on most of the fucking movies he's in. He was. You know what? He had fun. The movie wasn't very good, but he had fun in that Three Musketeers thing, though.
Yeah.
He kind of had fun in that, at least. Wasn't good. The steampunk Three Musketeers.
Yeah. Fucking. Who directed that?
That was W.S. Anderson.
Yeah, it was. Fucking W.S. Anderson. It was just kind of like, man, that dude's actually somewhat talented. But he can't make a good movie to save his fucking life.
No, I like Event Horizon. That was about it.
Exactly! Event Horizon's fucking awesome!
Yeah, it was 15 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, not everything needs to be a gimmick, man. Just make a movie.
Well, I think that was it. I think that was all we had in terms of trailers. If there was anything else, it was something we'd already seen before.
Yeah.
It would have been something we've already talked about before, but... Yeah, that's what we got. So, my final word on Django is a very, very, very high recommendation on it. So go check that out as soon as you can.
No, go see it. Definitely go see it. It's well worth the money. It's well worth going in blind. Don't read up too much. I almost made that mistake and decided at the last minute just scan
I stayed away from that stuff.
And the only reason I even read reviews was because I wanted to know what everybody else was talking about, so maybe we'd have something to talk about.
Sure.
But yeah, no, it's really good. It's really fun. I'm probably gonna go see it again.
I'm gonna see this movie again. Well, I can't tomorrow though. Tomorrow I'm gonna go see Jack Reacher, so I'll be back tomorrow with Jack Reacher. After that, I'll go see Django again.
Okay.
I'll see it.